WSMV4 News at 6 starts now with this breaking news alert.
Well, disturbing new details come to light about the Covenant School shooter, their mental health, and a hoard of guns hidden in the family home. And stories are emerging about the 3 students and 3 school employees killed in Monday's attack. We're going to start with the shooter, who had legally purchased 7 guns, then hid them inside of the family home.
Metro Police say 28-year-old Audrey Hale took 3 of those guns into the school. 2 of them were assault-style rifles. Our Lauren Lowry joins us now live. And Lauren, police say Hale's parents said Hale shouldn't have had these guns to begin with.
Yeah, we learned from police today that Audrey Hale was under a doctor's care for emotional disorders. We also know that police have told us Hale bought 7 guns legally in recent years. Now, the guns were bought at 5 different stores. Hale also hid the guns from her parents. 3 of those weapons were used during yesterday's shooting.
Law enforcement knew nothing about the treatment she was receiving, but her parents felt that she should not own weapons. They were under the impression that when she sold the 1 weapon that she did not own anymore.
The police said the shooter did not specifically target the victims at the school, but writings that were recovered revealed the attack was calculated and planned. Our chief investigative reporter, Jeremy Finley, has been on this side of the story for all the hours in the day today, asking all of the questions to get the answers to these questions. Jeremy Finley, what have you learned today, and how does a longtime friend play into this?
Hi, Lauren. Good evening. So what we have learned from police is that when Hale left this home yesterday where she lived with the Hale family, that she was carrying a red bag. Police say that Hale's mother then asked what the bag was for, but that Hale dismissed that question. We are piecing together tonight how a young person who was a smiling teenager then became a mass murderer. It's a grim contrast. The grinning high school student at the Nashville School of the Arts and then graduate of Nassau College of Art and Design would become a mass shooter of children and staff at the Covenant School. The question of why baffles her middle school classmate.
To give you a direct answer, I'm asking God the same question.
Not long before the shooting, Hale messaged Averiana Patton on Instagram, writing the Hale family didn't know what she was about to do, that one day this will make more sense, adding, "I've left more than enough evidence behind. Something bad is about to happen, and then forgive me."
I just would have never thought that I would receive a message before something tragic happens like this.
Patton wrote back, "Audrey, you have so much more life to live." Patton says she contacted a suicide prevention hotline and reached out to the sheriff's office, but by then, the shooting was underway. Social media also gives more glimpses into Hale's life. Police say Hale identified as transgender. Hale's LinkedIn reads, "He/him is an illustrator and graphic designer." The name with the account, creative.aiden. On the message to Patton, Hale goes by the name Aiden. And if you look closely at one of the weapons Hale used in the attack, the name Aiden is written on a sticker. All right, we're back here live. Those are the facts, but context is always important. In this case, police say there is no reason at this point to believe that Hale's gender identification had anything to do with the school shooting. So the question is there a motive? At this point, police say they do not have a motive, but they do have that manifesto and are reviewing that, hoping to read through that more. I did speak with a member of the Hale family. They were very cordial, but they said the family has no comment at this time. Lauren?
Jeremy, before you go, I have a question for you. You're giving us so much coverage yesterday from the home in 12 South. They use flashbangs. Did you ever find out what the flashbangs were for?
I did, Lauren. So I asked that question to police today. I wanted to know why police decided to move in and use flash grenades to blow open the front door, which of course now is covered up with the plywood. What I was told from a police spokesperson is they knew that no one was at home, but they didn't know if the home had booby traps inside or there was some kind of explosive that might have been inside. They simply didn't know. So as a routine, they used that flash grenade as a way to get inside quickly and then diffuse any situation if they could. But that's the explanation as to why they decided to use that flash grenade. Lauren?
All right, Jeremy, it sounds like they had to plan for absolutely anything. Thanks for the live report tonight. Today, Metro Police released the officer-worn body camera video from the school yesterday. It started to answer some of the questions we've had of how all of this went down. Today, our Lydia Fielder sat down with an expert on officers' response. Lydia, this is the point of view a lot of people want to hear.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Lauren, it doesn't matter who you are, it is hard to watch this video, so I just want to start with that. But Ken Alexandro spent 26 years as a Metro Nashville police officer. He says this was a textbook response. These officers making split-second decisions on a call where they know people are dying.
I believe it was as good as it could have possibly been.
Kids are all locked down, but we have 2 kids that we don't know where they are.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the body camera footage from Officer Rex Engelbert arriving on Covenant's campus, hearing from a school supervisor.
He didn't hesitate in the fact that I don't want to go in by myself.
Give me 3. Let's get 3.
He used his head and said, hey, there's 2 guys right here. Let's all 3 of them go in together and do what we were trying to do.
Let's go!
Ken Alexandro, a former MNPD officer, says
Metro Police!
once they get inside the first level of campus, these officers are in search mode.
Search mode is they don't know where the shooter is. And in that case, you cannot pass an unlocked or open door.
We don't know where he is. Metro Police, open door!
The 5 absolutes of room clearing are get through the door, clear the danger corner, run the walls, clear the center, and we got to communicate. And they're doing all of that together.
All the while, at least one officer stays in the hallway to make sure no one ambushes them from behind.
Cover left, cover left.
While they're downstairs, they hear gunshots and go into contact mode.
You go immediately to the threat.
I think it's upstairs. It sounds like it's upstairs.
This is where they meet upstairs with several other officers. Then, these. Booming shots fired from the suspect's gun on the 2nd floor. Shots from one officer's rifle, then shots from another officer's pistol killed the suspect.
Watch out, watch out. Stop moving! Stop moving!
At a press conference Tuesday, Metro Police Chief John Drake says the call came in at 10:13 a.m. and officers stopped the shooter by 10:24 a.m. That's 11 minutes.
Average response time in the United States for Code 3 response is 9 to 12 minutes. They finished it in less than what the average response time is. How can you call that anything less than incredible?
Alexandro says after the video ends, the officers likely did a second sweep of the school to make sure there were no other suspects. Then paramedics likely came inside to start helping any victims. Lauren.
What an incredible point of view. Gosh, Lydia Fielder, thank you for that excellent reporting. There are the 2 officers who are responsible for taking down the shooter. Their names are Rex Engelbert and Michael Colazzo. They are the 2 points of view that you received today in that body-worn camera. They were the first to shoot Hale, specifically Engelbert. Our Marissa Sulik has been speaking with Engelbert's family today, who are calling him nothing short of a hero. Marissa.
That's right, Lauren. I spoke with Kevin, who is Rex Engelbert's brother, and he said he spoke with his brother yesterday on the phone, and he said that he just responded to a school shooting. He couldn't say in what capacity, but it wasn't until he saw that body camera video today he saw his brother was at the center of it all.
On me.
It took almost 3 minutes from when Metro Police Officer Rex Engelbert got to the Covenant School to when he shot 28-year-old Audrey Hale.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
He was polite, determined, and quick. That's what his brother Kevin noticed.
He kept his manners throughout the video, even to the before he was when he was talking to the lady and who's devastated, and just the fact that he was always trying to be front of the line.
Engelbert is one of 5 kids raised in the Chicago area. He's also a 4-year Metro Nashville police veteran who moved to the city to be with his fiancée, a job his brother says he doesn't take for granted.
If you're ever talking to him, he says, and he's got a long week or an extra shift, he will cheekily say, I get to work overtime today.
He says Rex is fearless, something they get from their mother.
Our mom always taught us to be brave, and that was easily seen in his actions yesterday and his fellow policemen and that department and that body cam footage.
And it's that footage that proves Rex was the right person to be in the right place at the right time.
Oh, just chills, and also just very proud to see how brave he was heading towards the sound of gunfire, and obviously just scared for his life and devastated at the signs of the victims in that school.
Now, his brother says that they do plan to see Rex sometime this week. Lauren.
Marissa, thanks for the coverage. It's worth noting we're learning more about some of the other officers who were involved in that five-man team. You're going to hear more from them coming up at 6:30 tonight. For now, let's focus our attention on the victims, specifically one of the adults who was killed yesterday in this shooting. Catherine Kuntz is the director of schools here at Covenant, and she is quite a bright star that was lost in this community. Our Courtney Allen has been speaking with people who knew her and felt her impact on schools in this community. Courtney, you went to the school where she used to work today before coming to this school. What did you learn?
Lauren, today we talked to a speech and language pathologist who works with children at CPA, and that is how she met Catherine Kuntz 18 years ago. And in fact, she happened to actually be in the Green Hills area yesterday morning when gunfire rang out.
I had heard the shots at the very end, the pow, pow, pow.
That's the sound Mary Ann Sperry heard while taking a break in between her speech and pathology lessons in Green Hills Monday morning.
I think when I looked at my car, it said 10:27 because I knew my session started at 10:30.
10:27 is the time Metro Nashville police say they took out the suspected shooter by at the Covenant School, an alleged shooter who had just killed a woman Sperry had known for 18 years.
Nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves it.
Sperry says she met Catherine Kuntz while Kuntz worked at Christ Presbyterian Academy, about 10 minutes from the Covenant School.
She treated everyone like they were the most important person in the room.
Sperry says Kuntz was an advocate for children with learning disabilities, accepting some into CPA despite lower test scores. Sperry says the mother of one of those students called her after the shooting.
I actually talked to his mom yesterday, and we were talking about Catherine, and she said, "Marianne, I just want you to know that he graduated from college, from a business school that's well respected, not too far from here." And I was just so proud, and I just hope Catherine knew that.
Another former CPA student with learning disabilities, Joseph Fisher, says Kuntz pushed him to reach his full potential.
The world needs people like Catherine Kuntz.
Tuesday, Metro Police said Kuntz was found in a hallway by the office, and it's possible she could have run toward the shooter.
But I'll tell you, I know as sure as I'm sitting here that Catherine went down protecting those kids. I know that for a fact.
Sperry is encouraging everyone to lift up educators during this devastating time.
Let them know how much they mean to you and that they are risking their lives every day to be with your kids.
Kuntz is one of 3 total staff members who lost their lives. The other, a substitute teacher, Cindy Peak, and custodian, Mike Hill. Lauren.
All right. Thanks so much, Courtney Allen. Of course, you can read more about each of the victims of this shooting right now on WSMV.com or WSMV4 News app, and you can stay close here to our coverage on air for more information. Right now, we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Lauren Lowry, thank you so much. Well, Metro Council is being forced to cut in half thanks to a new state law. Up next, hear how you can help draw out the district boundaries.
Llévate todos tus favoritos por unos pocos dólares, solo en el $1, $2, $3 menú de McDonald's.
¿Estresado? Refresca tu ritmo con Trident. Chicle Trident, mastica la frescura y refresca tu ritmo.
Nursing and healthcare degrees are in demand more than ever to meet current job growth. Midway offers Central Kentucky's most affordable tuition rates, and our accelerated program puts your degree within reach. Apply at midway.edu. With more than 20 career-focused degree choices and the most affordable tuition rates in Central Kentucky, Midway University puts your degree within reach. Save time, save money, advance your career. Apply today at midway.edu.
Metro Council wants your opinion on their proposal for the new district maps.
Well, the council released 2 drafts last week, all to comply with that new law that cuts councils in half. Now, one option shows 15 districts with 5 at-large seats. The other shows 17 districts with 3 at-large seats. The council is holding a public input meeting right now at the Metro office building. It goes until 7:30 tonight, about an hour and a few minutes left to head there.
Well, tomorrow's meeting will be from 9 a.m. until 4:30. It was pushed up for tomorrow's citywide vigil on the school shooting. It's being held by Mayor John Cooper and Metro Council members. Chief John Drake will be among the speakers. The community is asked to come gather to mourn the victims and support the survivors. The vigil will be held at One Public Square Park. That'll start at 5:30. The community continues to come together during this time of tragedy. Coming up, we'll show you how one group of students are trying to spread a message, one ribbon at a time.
We have a first alert weather day in effect for Friday as we'll be tracking showers and some thunderstorms that could be strong to severe. And the key things, again, that we'll be looking for this Friday, that's going to be from isolated tornadoes, a possibility, but more likely will be wind damage and possibly some isolated flooding. And that's going to be Friday night, late night once again. Definitely not the best time, as we all know, for these storms to come through when folks are asleep. But here is the area most likely to see that right here in the mid-state, and a little higher threat is off towards West Tennessee. But that storm is way out in the Pacific Ocean right now, so we have a ways to track that before it makes its way here into the mid-state. In the meantime, for us, we are looking at some widespread frost tonight. Things will get mild midweek on Wednesday and Thursday before that severe threat comes in late on Friday. Looking out near Bellevue, it has been a glorious day. So pretty out there, afternoon high at 61 degrees. And you can see tomorrow we're going to be in the 60s as well. Looks pretty good, but with one little thing different. The wind's not going to be so high. And that's the way it's going to be for tonight, as a matter of fact. 58 degrees in Nashville. We're at 54 degrees in Lebanon. 54 is the latest coming in there in Clarksville. Notice these winds dying down this evening. They'll go very, very low to perhaps even, 3 or 4 miles an hour after gusting into the 20s throughout the afternoon. But with that clear sky, that calm wind tonight, we are going to see our temperatures drop down into the 30s. That's going to be cold enough to see some widespread frost across the area. So you may be doing a little bit of scraping in the morning. 33 in Cookeville, 33 degrees in Clarksville. Just keep in mind if you've got any flowers out there, make sure you bring those in or cover them up tonight if you want to keep them. Temperatures in the 40s by 11 o'clock tonight, dipping all the way down to the 30s, as you saw there by morning with that clear sky. And then during the afternoon, looking great at 64 degrees, and that wind will not be as high tomorrow, so we won't have that wind chill to deal with. Our futurecast shows those showers continuing on and off on Friday. It will be late Friday night when some of these storms could develop, and that's where we could see some of the strong to severe activity developing across the mid-state. But it moves out of here pretty quickly on Saturday. Looking at our pollen count, boy, this is just continues to be so high, and a lot of folks have been suffering so much with that. So just keep that in mind. It's really going to be high for the rest of the week until some of that rain helps out a little bit on Friday. 34 degrees at 7 tomorrow, 50 at 10, and 58 degrees around 1. Just a really pretty day for tomorrow with that lower wind in place. And then we will look for our afternoon high at 64. Even warmer still on Thursday at 72 with plenty of sunshine. And for Friday, our first alert weather day in effect. On and off showers through the day, and then the storms will come at night. 72 the high there. We'll keep updating you on the timing for that. And then for Saturday, breezy with a high of 73. Gorgeous day on Sunday. That's the pick of the weekend at 73. Then we've got some showers in on Monday and Tuesday, but look how warm into the low 80s for a few days. All right, Lisa, thanks. Well, 6 crosses representing the 6 victims stand outside of the Covenant School. They mark the spot of a growing memorial and a steady stream of visitors.
Yeah, people have been stopping by outside the Covenant School today in Green Hills to lay flowers and other items. Our Lauren Lowry has been outside the school all day. And Lauren, that's not the only support we're seeing around the city.
Yeah, we've seen so much support here today. I also want to tell you something we just saw in the last 2 minutes, something new that's developed here on the scene. Just moments ago, I saw a tow truck carrying 2 police vehicles, and when it passed by us, we could see the evidence markers on the windshields of those 2 vehicles. The first vehicle had 1 bullet hole, the second vehicle had 2 bullet holes, and it had pieces of paper that were clearly evidence markers as part of the investigation. If you have seen some of the images that we've shown you here, as well as what MNPD has put out on Twitter, they showed specific pictures of the front of the school that showed windows being shot out. That's what we know now from body cam video, was that Audrey Hale was shooting from inside, shooting out through those front windows at police in the parking lot beyond the school. And just there, as that tow truck was taking 2 of those vehicles away, it's clear that the bullets did actually make it to the vehicle, so now they'll be put into evidence. But as you were mentioning, Marius, just a moment ago, we've seen so much support here in this community. Green Hills is a small neighborhood of Nashville, and it's a very tight-knit community. And today we saw one group of friends and neighbors. They wanted to connect with the survivors and let them know they're not alone. Brendan Tierney let us know how those survivors are connecting now.
A group of students still grieving themselves after a horrible school shooting, but trying to spread a simple message, one red and white ribbon at a time.
We feel and hear their cries, and we're always there for them.
Hewer is part of a group of students from St. Paul's Christian Academy that are still trying to process what happened down the street from their school on Monday morning.
It was very scary. And because I know a lot of people at Covenant, and I was just very scared for them.
Tying a ribbon for each of his friends that were able to escape the gunfire, and making his own sign topped with flowers in memory of the victims.
I said, "Stay strong, Covenant," and I said, #CovLove.
The ribbons tied to trees and poles, creating a bridge between the two schools.
Unite us together, kind of, and so they know they're not alone and that we're here and we feel their emotions. And we don't want them to feel sad, so we can mourn together.
Holding their classmates tight and praying for each other during this difficult time. Two schools now forever connected as they work to understand this tragedy.
We feel that they're mourning and we're suffering too, and we're sad too for them.
The St. Paul students say they plan to keep adding even more signs and ribbons like these over the next couple of days. In Green Hills, Brendan Tierney, WSMV4.
And as this story continues to unfold, you'll find the latest developments inside the WSMV4 News app. We will be right back.
Seamos honestos. El Spicy Crispy Chicken Sandwich se debió llamar Spicy McCrispy desde el primer día. Es pollo a la McDonald's. Para pa pa pa.
We have seen so many people show up at the memorial at Covenant School to pay their respects, and we were there this morning when a group of people from the Brookdale Senior Living Center, you can see them there dropping off flowers.
Yeah, it's just amazing to see this. They walked to the entrance of the school to place those flowers there. A big show of support from the community. We'll be right back.
Seamos honestos. El Spicy Crispy Chicken Sandwich se debió llamar Spicy McCrispy desde el primer día. Es pollo a la McDonald's. Para pa pa pa.
WSMV4 News at 6:30 starts now with this breaking news alert.
We continue to watch a memorial grow outside of the Covenant School on the heels of that deadly shooting yesterday that claimed the lives of 3 students and 3 workers at the school.
Right now, it is a gathering place for the community. There are 6 crosses for all the lives lost out there as this community comes together to lay flowers, teddy bears, and just to console one another.
It's been a steady stream of visitors really since yesterday. We saw earlier a group of folks from a senior living facility. They showed up this morning to lay flowers at the site. We saw dogs, therapy dogs, that were brought to the site from 5 or 6 different states, I believe, there for the sole purpose of comforting people who showed up to grieve.
Yeah, our Lauren Lowry joins us now again live tonight from outside Covenant School. And it's a place where you see the people gathering as police cars are leaving the scene behind you.
Right, exactly. The activity is starting to wane a little bit, but slowly people are still trickling in. We are learning more tonight, specifically about one of the 5 men who went inside the school yesterday to confront Audrey Hale. Now, as we've told you, the 911 call came in at 10:13. By 10:27, the threat was completely over. Now, when the body camera footage was released earlier this morning, we got our first look at which officers were actually inside the school at the time. And there's one specific community here, one school, that was stunned and proud by what they saw. Just a mile from where I'm standing at this very moment is Julia Green Elementary School. It went on lockdown as well with the shooting yesterday. Now, one of the 5 officers on that elite team that we saw active yesterday inside the school is actually a volunteer. He volunteers his time 3 days a week to provide security at this MNPS school, Julia Green. So earlier this afternoon, I spoke with the principal at the school, and I asked him when he learned that Officer Joey Jakes was involved yesterday. Listen to how he described his reaction in that moment.
One, I was astounded, kind of stunned, and then just filled with pride to see such, heroics from all 5 of the officers that went right into the school to save lives.
It's pretty remarkable. Can you imagine knowing that you see that same face every single day, keeping your kids safe, and then the heroics that we were seeing on display in that body camera footage? I asked the principal as well if they have anything planned to honor Officer Jakes, because he goes to the school Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday afternoons. He said they have a few things up their sleeve that they're working on from the Julia Green community. As far as the memorial that I'm standing in front of here tonight, it has really grown in the last 24 hours. You'll remember we brought you live pictures last night as the first flowers were laid here at what's become a memorial. We've seen toys, we've seen balloons, stuffed animals, flowers, it really speaking to the magnitude of what we've witnessed here since yesterday. Our Michael Warwick has been here all day today, speaking with people, talking with them as to what brought them out today.
What became a place to show support for the Covenant School and its victims of Monday's shooting also became a place to grieve.
The kids and the teachers just deserve more.
The signs of sympathy and support grew steadily. Some people knew the Covenant School well, like Shepard and Sophie Hollis. They knelt at the memorial to pray with their mom, who used to teach there.
These people were so nice to me and so kind. I just couldn't help but think, I should remember these people and care about how they cared about us,
At a time of inexplicable loss, for strangers and friends stopping by this memorial today, just a simple gesture, if it helps just a little, is worth it.
I can't even tell you. It's just so deep. I just had to send that love.
It was emotional for Lily Tyson, who is just beginning her career as a teacher.
We didn't ask for this. This isn't something that should be in our job description. And it is. I just want the families and the community to know that they have people supporting them and that are fighting for change to make the community and schools safer.
Tonight, as the memorial outside the school grows, it hopes to show those who are mourning they are not alone.
We're a family at the end of the day, and we have to lean on each other.
And to them and the lives lost, they are in our heart.
It was really heartbreaking because I'd known so many people that were affected, and I just felt really sad for the kids because I'd known so many of the kids when I went here.
Michael Warwick, WSMV4.
And tonight's vigil is not the only emotional gathering we saw today. At noon today at the state capitol, we saw more than 100 mothers, grandmothers, even some of them bringing their children with them to ask lawmakers to pass common sense gun legislation. And they're saying that state lawmakers refuse to do it. So our WSMV investigative reporter Stacey Cameron joins us with more on what he saw today.
As Republican lawmakers postpone hearings on 2 new gun bills out of respect for the survivors and victims of yesterday's deadly Covenant School shooting, a group of moms gathered here outside of the Capitol demanding that their voices be heard, saying state lawmakers have to take action now and pass new gun safety law measures to protect our children in their schools and in the street. Whether they came dressed in a red shirt.
Why are we as adults not protecting them? Yeah. Why are legislators not protecting them?
Held a sign high in protest or clutched tight to their own child.
As these continue to just happen over and over again, it is like getting punched in the gut.
Members of the group called Moms Demand Action gathered on Capitol Hill, delivering an emotional message to lawmakers.
This idea of bringing more guns into our communities, more guns onto our campuses that will murder our children is somehow a solution to this problem. No. It's obscene. Metro Police!
Saying in the wake of yesterday's deadly shooting at the Covenant School, words and prayers are no longer enough.
I stand with all of us as we say we have thoughts and prayers, but prayers without action is useless.
The action these moms demand: common sense gun laws. Ones they say will protect kids.
We need to stand up for the students in this community
and keep tragedies like yesterday's deadly school shooting from happening again.
It's when you see the faces of those children and you see your own grandchildren's faces, it's just too real and too close. And we've got to make changes.
Now, hearings on those 2 new proposed gun laws will be taken up again next week on Tuesday, and mothers demanding action say they'll be back here to rally again in support of common sense gun laws in Tennessee. Reporting at the state capitol, I'm investigative reporter Stacey Cameron, WSMV4.
Stacey, thank you. And back out here live, of course, the memorial continues to grow here at Covenant School. Some people have chosen to bring the flowers and the teddy bears and the balloons. Still yet others might want a different way to mark this moment. And I have information for you. If you want to write a letter to one of the officers, one of the 5 who were the true heroes in this day yesterday, the company Magpies in Belmead is asking that you write letters and you drop them off there. They have a personal connection to one of the officers, and they're letting the community know tonight, if you want to say thanks, if you want to write a letter of gratitude, you can just drop it off right there. And that's Magpies in Belmead. Back to you guys in the studio.
I imagine there's going to be a lot of letters pouring in there.
Yes, Lauren, thank you so much. Well, the Nashville community continues to wrap its arms around everyone involved with the Covenant School tragedy.
Well, tonight the Vanderbilt Athletics Department is also joining in. Chris Harris is now joining us with a closer look, Chris, at some of those details.
Yeah, right, guys. The Vanderbilt baseball team tonight has a game against Lipscomb University, right? The Commodores are donating all ticket revenue to the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee for the Caring for Covenant Fund. It's a way that they can support those affected by Monday's tragedy. Now, the game just started about a half an hour ago. This was the scene prior to the first pitch. Both teams in a prayer circle out at Hawkins Field. I talked with Vandy officials about their decision to donate the money today. They said they began the morning immediately wanting to see how they could help.
You know, this is a game that we had not originally scheduled on our baseball schedule. It was a remake from a game that was rained out last week, and so it happens to be also with a local school. And so it's like, you know what, this makes a lot of sense for us to just go ahead and donate that to the community fund as a way of showing support as solidarity with Lipscomb, Vanderbilt, and Covenant School.
Now, Vanderbilt's also saying they plan to do more in the future for Covenant, but this is a first step. And also, they're inviting anyone who wants to donate to the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee Fund to support Covenant school families. You can do that at cfmt.org. Guys.
Very cool, Chris. Thank you so much. And you can keep track of all of our coverage on the school shooting with our WSMV4 News app. We will also continue to post updates and send alerts when new information is released.
All right, let's talk about the forecast here. It's been nice, a little bit cooler, gorgeous sunset as we take a live look, but something's changing here. Changes are coming.
Yeah, that change is going to get here on Friday. Lisa Spencer joins us now. And Lisa, we have some more storms on Friday.
We do. And you know, our goal is always to be the first to alert folks about this. So we're getting a head start. We've let you know that Friday is the first alert weather day. And here's what we're looking at right now in the yellow. That is a 15% chance that we're going to see severe storms. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but really it is an area that's being identified as all the conditions could come together for those storms. A little bit higher threshold off to the west, about a 30% chance, includes West Tennessee all the way through eastern Arkansas. Sound familiar? Some of the same areas we were dealing with on Friday. So just want to give you a heads up. This is going to be Friday night. We'll continue to keep you updated as we get closer to time. Looking at what we've got going on right now, we are talking about some sunshine for your day tomorrow, but starting pretty chilly. So that's a big part of what we're going to show you as we move through time. But tonight, we're looking for those lows to go really, really low. Our clear sky, the wind calming down, that's going to allow some frost to develop. So give yourself, maybe a few extra minutes in the morning. You may be out there scraping that windshield. 33 in Clarksville tomorrow morning, 34 in Nashville, 33 degrees is what we're expecting in McMinnville as we get the day started off. Now, also, Thursday, we'll see a dip down to the 30s as well, so some patchy frost is a possibility there, but starting to warm things up on Friday and Saturday, giving us a great weekend. But again, we do have to deal with those storms coming through as we get into Friday night. But in the meantime, we'll have more on that frost and those cold temperatures for night. That's coming up with our first alert forecast.
Lisa, thank you. Well, what caused two of the nation's largest banks to fail? That's what lawmakers want to find out. Coming up, federal regulators give some answers in how to prevent a future banking crisis.
The new Grand Wagoneer with panoramic sunroof, available Macintosh reference entertainment system, passenger display, and massaging Palermo leather-trimmed front seats. It even has one more thing, a captain's chair.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months on the 2022 Wagoneer Series 2 and Series 3. Search new inventory and locate a dealer near you at Wagoneer.com.
The new Grand Wagoneer with Macintosh reference entertainment system, panoramic sunroof, passenger display, and even a captain's chair. Ever wonder why they call it the American dream and not the American goal or plan? Maybe it's because in dreams, you can do anything with your eyes wide open.
Seamos honestos. El Spicy Crispy Chicken Sandwich se debió llamar Spicy McCrispy desde el primer día. Es pollo a la McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Square can help you start selling online with tools that connect the dots for you. Sign up at square.com and start selling right away. You can set up a free website or add buy now buttons to your existing site. And with delivery, pickup, and shipping built in, you can get orders out fast. Go to square.com now to start using the most free tools out there and sell online with all the dots connected. Get started free at square.com.
Dozens of people died after a fire broke out at a migrant holding center. It happened last night in Mexico near the U.S. border. Authorities said the migrants set mattresses on fire to protest being deported. There were dozens of men from Central and South America staying at the facility. At least 40 were killed and 29 others were hurt. The fire comes as the U.S. and Mexico try to cope with record levels of border crossings.
Nearly 100 House Democrats urged President Biden not to restart migrant family detentions. The president received their letter over the weekend. The senators say family detention had a disastrous effect on migrant families and children. The Biden administration says no decision has been made as of yet, but it's preparing for COVID-era restrictions to end in May. Those restrictions allowed authorities to turn away certain migrants at the southern border.
After a bright, sunny day, we've got a chilly night tonight, but in just a few days, we'll be tracking storms with a first alert weather day in effect for Friday. I'll have more on when you can expect those storms coming up with the first alert forecast.
Nothing's happened here of this nature, and it's here now.
As a community, we've now witnessed the tragedy of a school shooting.
I was moved to tears to see the kids as they were being ushered out of the building.
And it's as a community that we will heal.
But let us love each other and support each other and hug each other.
We stand together. We stand with you.
Positively Tennessee, brought to you by Lee Company.
I was on the way to work and I got rear-ended. The first person that I called was Morgan & Morgan. With Morgan & Morgan, the process in general, very easy. I could be in a different state and for me to just do this, click this e-sign, I'm like, okay. Working with Morgan & Morgan is so easy.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Nice.
Sweet.
Go big or go home.
What'd you say?
What's up? Go big with the powerful and efficient all-new Toyota Sequoia. Or go with the biggest, most capable Tundra ever with the best resale value. Plus 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Your roof is the first line of defense against, well, everything. The Music City Roof has a purpose-built shingle to protect the vulnerable edge. Your roof stays dry, and everything else stays put. Visit MusicCityRoofers.com and save $1,000 off your...
The new Grand Wagoneer with Macintosh reference entertainment system, panoramic sunroof, passenger display, and even a captain's chair.
Federal financial regulators testified on Capitol Hill today about what led to the collapse of two major banks.
Lawmakers are pushing for answers as the federal government tries to prevent more issues. Chris Wynn has the latest from Washington.
On Capitol Hill, U.S. financial regulators testifying Tuesday before the Senate Banking Committee as lawmakers in both chambers of Congress launch formal investigations into what caused the second and third largest bank collapses in U.S. history earlier this month.
The quick collapses of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank were no ordinary failures.
Michael Barr, a top U.S. Federal Reserve official, says the meltdown at SVB started at the top.
This is a textbook case of bank mismanagement.
Barr testified that SVB had been on the Fed's radar since November 2021 when it was cited for interest rates and liquidity risks.
They didn't take the action necessary. They were quite vulnerable to risk, to shocks, and they didn't take the actions necessary.
The bank, he says, collapsed after depositors tried to withdraw $100 billion in a single day, driven by social media and mobile banking.
The bank did not have enough collateral to meet that. And therefore, they were not able to actually meet their obligations to pay their depositors over the course of that day, and they were shut down.
While the federal government stepped in to guarantee deposits at the two failed banks and set up a facility to help prevent runs at other banks, some lawmakers demanding regulators take further action to prevent a similar banking crisis in the future.
If it's the regulator's fault, it better be fixed. If it's the regulation fault, it better be fixed.
The congressional investigations into the financial sector's instability come as fears of recession are mounting. In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn.
Well, it's a clear and chilly night for us across the mid-state, but it's going to warm back up this week.
Yeah, but don't be fooled, because Lisa Spencer has a first alert weather day on tap for us, and that's coming up Friday, Lisa.
Absolutely. It'll be Friday. But at least the good news, we've got a couple of nice days in between there before we get to it. But we do want to make sure you know that we've got that potential for severe storms coming up on Friday night, so you can include that as a part of your plans. Here's a look at our severe weather outlook with threats that we think will be the greatest for us. And that's going to be tornadoes, the first, and that's going to be very isolated, damage from wind, and also flooding. So that's going to be late on Friday night. We expect that. Here's the storm that we're tracking. It's way out here right now, impacting folks along the coast there in California and Washington. Beautiful storm that is forming when you look at it from the satellite, but it's going to be a little nasty by the time it makes its way out into the plain states and cause some issues here across parts of the mid-state by the time we get to Friday night. In the meantime, here's a peek at what we're looking at for right here at home. We're talking widespread frost tonight with these temperatures dropping down to the 30s, and then mild for midweek. That's what I'm talking about. Pretty nice days before we get to that severe weather coming up on Friday. It is beautiful out tonight. We've got a northwest wind around 12 miles per hour. So that has really influenced our temperatures today. You know, it was much warmer as we were moving in from the weekend into yesterday, but 58 degrees is where we are right now. We're at 56 as we look in over in Lebanon, 57 degrees. That's the latest coming in from Hohenwald. And here you can see that drop in temperature from this time yesterday, this afternoon. These numbers were even bigger, but a 13-degree change from yesterday at this time in Lewisburg, 6 degrees right there in the Clarksville area. We are looking at this clearer sky that we've enjoyed today. To stick with us tonight, we'll be in the 40s by the time we get to 11 o'clock, and then by tomorrow morning, stepping down to the 30s. So that 34, along with your calm wind, that's going to be the prime conditions for seeing some frost develop across the area. But we'll warm up nicely during the afternoon for a pretty day. This is one you can have lunch outside tomorrow if you can get a nice sunny spot. 64 degrees will be that afternoon high. We fast forward to Friday. We'll see showers on and off throughout the day. You want to head out the door with your umbrella. It will be late on Friday night. See that yellow? Some of those thunderstorms start to move in, but they should move out by the time we get to Saturday morning. But again, our greatest threat that we think is going to be from wind damage coming up as we make our way in to those late night Friday night storms. But tonight it's frost that we're talking about, with those morning lows dropping down to the mid to low 30s for some of you. And here's a look at our first alert forecast. We've got another night for some patchy frost. This is going to be on Thursday, 72 for the afternoon high. Our first alert weather day coming in on Friday. Showers in the morning, storms at night. We'll keep updating you on that timing. I hope it speeds up a little bit just because we don't like those storms in the middle of the night. By the time we get to the weekend, we'll be in the low 70s with some sunshine, a bit of a breeze on Saturday, and a big warm up with a few showers the beginning of next week. Stick around. We'll be right back.
A prayer vigil is happening right now at Donaldson Fellowship Church. People have gathered there tonight to remember the lives lost in yesterday's shooting at Covenant School.
There have been an amazing outpouring of support for families of the victims and the survivors. It's been a time for mourning, but also a time to comfort after tragedy hit our community.
Our coverage will continue on air and in the WSMV4 News app.
Be sure to join us tonight for WSMV